Good evening. It's Thursday night, Thursday the 24th of June 2021. Good evening to you and welcome to our little chat show on this Thursday evening. Hope you're well, gang. I don't know if Dan Woodhouse is with us yet. He might be with us at the moment, but he was asking about subtitles. Which I gather are coming up for the radio show, but not for this. And while in the last 20 minutes or so, I did have a look to see if there was something I had to turn on somewhere, but I have yet to discover it. Okay, so I haven't been able to find that yet. I'm sure it's on here somewhere. It may be that I can't be actually doing a show, or at least sending out a stream, while before it appears. With some stuff on there, you have to stop the stream to be able to see it, if you see what I mean. Sometimes you get stuff greyed out, and when you actually stop sending, as in me sitting here, then it appears, okay? But I can't see anywhere how to turn it on at the moment, the stream. So maybe it's... hang on a minute. Maybe it's in the... I don't want to spend too much time doing this now. Show more. Hang on. Show more. What's that now? Show more. Paid promotion tags, stream language. Well, that's me, isn't it? That's me. Stream language, recording date, entertainment, hold comments for review. There's all the chat stuff. No, I can't find it. Hang on, settings. What's that? Settings. We don't want to muck anything out, do we, dear? Channel. Okay. Upload defaults. Permissions. Community. Agreement. No, I can't find it, I'm afraid. So I don't know where that is. It's probably someone watching tonight who knows whereabouts that is. All right, Daniel. So if you're watching, hoping that this... Oh, there's something there on the right. Hang on, subtitles. Video is currently processing. Please check back later. Oh. Well, that would indicate that it doesn't happen live, wouldn't it? Do you see what I mean? I've got a thing here, but when I click on that, it says, your video is currently processing. Please check back later. So I don't know. I'm sure there's someone on here who would be able to do that. But anyway, very good evening to you, gang. And a nice day today. We've been to Skegness with Gary and his family and my sister and brother-in-law. And left the house... about just shortly after the radio show. I arrived at Gary's house, and one of the things I had with me was this little Echo Dot thing, which I've bought. Now, yesterday, I tried to make a setup video with this, one of those unboxing videos, and I couldn't get the damn thing to work. So I've taken it to Gary's because I remember I had trouble with my other Echo Dots, like the older ones, which are quite flat, rather than this globe. You see, I can probably tell. I could be Mystic Chris with this, couldn't I? Mystic Chris, yes. Tell me what's going to I got just a minute. Yes. Mark Bowles is going to leave his girlfriend and come and ask to marry you, yes. But it will not be about its problems, yes. Oh, I can see it now. Oh, there's his girlfriend. Oh, my God, she's holding a knife. Oh, it's gone all blurry. Oh, I don't know who gets killed now. Oh, hello. Oh, it's gone. And one of the reasons it's gone is because I couldn't set the damn thing up. I was so disappointed. I couldn't set it up. It wouldn't set up. Now, I recall that I had a problem with my normal Echo Dots, the flat round ones, look a bit like large tablets, look like large Mitsubishis. If you know, you know. Or white doves. They look like large white doves. You wouldn't get one of those in your mouth, though, I tell you. And I did have a little bit of a problem with those earlier in the year. And eventually what I had to do was take one up to my nephew's, set it up there, then I brought it back, pushed the button to clear it, and then reset it up, and it all works. So I hoped that would happen with this, but it hasn't. And for some reason, when you try, it will not connect to the Wi-Fi. Don't know why. It won't connect to the Wi-Fi. That being said, when I had this on here earlier... I'll come to that in a moment. So I've taken it up to Gary's and I tried to set it up there. And I literally, plugged it in, put it down, and within about a minute, maybe 2 minutes maximum, it started working. I didn't have to do anything at all. Nothing. It didn't ask for the Wi-Fi. Gary's Wi-Fi is already on my mobile phone, right? Didn't ask for the Wi-Fi, anything at all. It just a moment, boop, 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 boop. Your Amazon device is now connected. And I tested it and I asked it to play something and it played it. And it worked perfectly. And yet the night before, I was hoping to, do one of my little unboxing videos. Nope, it weren't having it at all. I must have spent 2.5 hours on this last night. And when you spend so much time on something and you can't get it to work, you think, what a waste of a night that was. Literally, I started about 7:30 last night, and it must have been 10:30 before I came out. Before I stopped doing it, I gave up. Gave up in the end, and I tried all the different things. I went on the internet and I noted that people with the particular router that I've got here, which is an MR200 TP-Link. Don't worry if you don't understand any of that. I'm not going to go on about it. Some of these bleeding channels, don't they go on about their technical stuff, talking about crap no one knows, anyone understands, dear. We put on some of these car videos that are on there, and they're you're talking about this. I haven't got a clue what they're talking about. No idea at all. Anyway, so it tried to connect to the Wi-Fi, and that seems to be the problem. Eventually, it looked like it connected to the Wi-Fi, asked me for the password. I put the password in. This is here, right? Last night. I put the password in, and it said that's the wrong password. Well, how can that be the wrong password? Everything in here's got the same. So to check that I had the right password, I then deleted my Wi-Fi, forget this device or forget this network, right? Did that on there. Then I reconnected it and put the password in that I'd put on this. And it worked on here. Put it on here. Nope. Wrong password. It's all connecting to the correct router and everything like that. So I went on the internet, and it turns out there seems to be a lot of people with these, I think they're 4th generation, and it looks good, doesn't it? There's a little clock on the front there as well. There should be. A lot of people with this and Mac router, the two don't seem to be able to talk to each other for some reason. I then went on the TP-Link help desk, typed in the question. As always, I don't think there's a single occasion where I've gone on one of those chat boxes, typed in a question, and my question has come up from a long list of questions, ever. It's never happened. It's never, ever happened, and I don't know why. Funny, innit? Don't know why. Eventually, it said, we are connecting you to a human operator. Oh, right, okay, I thought fair enough, that's it. And basically, cut a long story short, he said to me, well, your other 2 units are working with it. Have you any other problem with any other device? I said, no, just this one. He said, in that case, I think you've got a problem with this, but I know I haven't got a problem with this because you've only got to type in the internet your problem into the Google, right? And there's other people, lots of other people just can't get this connected to that particular router. All right? So that's why I packaged it up. When I went over to Gary's on our way to Skegness today, got to Gary's and I thought I'll set this up, see if it works there, set it up there, and it worked within 2 minutes. I didn't even have to open the app. It just started working. All right? So I thought about that. Okay, so been to Skegness, come back again, and this evening, literally while you were listening to the music on the warm-up, I tried to set it up again. Exactly the same problems. I went on to the router settings, and I have 2 frequencies here, 2.4 gig and 5 gig. But it said it connected automatically to the best one. So I separated them and gave the 5 gig a slightly different name, with a number 5 on the end. And then I separately tried to connect it to both of those. I thought, well, maybe one will work, maybe the other. Nope, not having it. Not having it. In fact, this time, can't even find the router now. Can't even find the router, so I have no idea what to do with this now. I'm really disappointed. Someone said to me, try and get a 2nd or 3rd generation one. I bought this because it's got a clock on the front, and it slightly glows. Not bright, but the clock I've got in my bedroom doesn't have a light on it, so I can't see it when I wake up. Be like, if I work like, how do you wake up in the morning? You can't see quite, can you? I can't see that clock, pitch black. But this one lights up, and that's why I bought this for the bedroom. And I was going to take the other Echo Dot home and use it at home. But no, it's I don't know. I don't know. I think I'll take this home and it will work perfectly. So then I went on eBay to see if I can find a second or third generation flat one with the clock. And they're very expensive. I don't know why. This was on special offer, so it cost me £35. The older ones, they're there on eBay, and I think one of them was something like 15 quid, but it had another 5 days to go on the bidding thing, and there was one on there with 1 day to go on the bidding thing, and it had like something like 16 bids, and that was already up to 35 quid. And I'm a bit, to pay more for the old model is a little bit crazy, really. Whether or not Amazon or TP-Link are able to sort out that problem, because there's clearly a problem with the connecting going on there, I do not know. So disappointing. And as I say, at my nephew's, all set up nice and quickly. Can't believe it. Now, just to let you know, gang, if you're in the chat box, you're here for the first time, a very good evening to you. It's a fairly light-hearted show. I just talk crap for a little while, okay? That's what the show's all about. But you can join in as well. If you're trying to send a message via the chat box, I'm afraid I won't see that because I'm not in the chat box at all. To join in, please send a text 07451 287 337, all right? 07451 287 337. Or you can send an email to my email address there, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, and I'll come to your messages in a little while. All right, gang? The other thing I discovered when I was at Gary's is that collecting trainers for profit is a thing. Now, I never knew this. And I don't know how we got onto the subject. So I just recently did there's something I wanted to try as well. Hang on. Which we're going to try in a moment, because I something about inserting an ad into the live stream. Now, I'm assuming while you're watching a live stream, you don't see any ads at all. I'm assuming that. Is that correct or not? Do you see ads while watching the live stream? If you're watching the recorded stream, I know you see ads. But I don't think you see them when you're watching the live stream. And I've discovered there's a button up there to stick an ad in. But that's new to me as well. I've learned lots this week. I'm telling you now. Lots this week. I'm like a human Google encyclopedia. I am. I discovered collecting trainers is not necessarily about having pretty trainers all in your house. You can make money from trainers. I only discovered this today because I was at my nephew's house, as I say, and I think he mentioned my trainer review video, which you can find on my main site, unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. There's a trainer review video. I bought these trainers from Amazon for $19.99, and they're fine, right? And then for some reason it got on the subject of other trainers. He said, he showed me these trainers. He bought this box of trainers down from upstairs, and I can't remember what he paid for them now. What is it he paid for them? Gosh. Anyway, so I looked at these, and they look nice. They were nice painted trainers, and then I think he told me the price. I'm like, how much for a pair of trainers? And these trainers are, I think they're Nike, and they're white, and they've got this little gold piece of metal where the laces is, and a logo on the side and all that. And he said what you do is you buy them, you keep them in the box, and you put them in the cupboard, and they increase in value. Like gold bullion. Well, I never knew this sort of thing happened. And my brother-in-law's sitting there. He said, "Oh yeah, this is a whole different world we know nothing about." And I certainly don't know anything about it. Now, my best mate, he's always buying trainers. Oh, God, you can't believe how many trainers he's got. I think I've got I've got about 4 pairs, 3 of which are really quite badly worn down. I don't like to spend money on trainers. I mean, certainly, if I spent, like, some of the, when I go to Selfridges, which isn't very often, once every couple of years or something, and we walk past, I've mentioned before, I couldn't remember it the other night, the Louis Vuitton section. There are trainers, I kid you not, on the shelves there, £800-900. The only people that buy them are the very rich Arab lads. You can always tell, their dad's probably I don't know, work in a bank or something to do with oil. And they're in there and they buy these trainers, right? But they buy them to wear. Now, I don't think I could, unless money was no objects, to buy a pair of £800 trainers and you're out and you get a bit of mud on them. Oh my God. That must be like getting a bit of a dirt mark. If you were to buy the original Mona Lisa, millions of pounds, that's quite, and someone touches it and leaves a finger mark on there. I did that to my sister today. She had sunglasses on and she was pissing me off. So I touched her glasses with my finger. That upset her. Ow, there's a finger mark on my glasses now. Oh, I'm terrible. I spent most of the morning today winding great nephew Harry up. Who got his trainers down? One, we were talking about all this trainer business, and then Gary goes upstairs, comes back downstairs with 4 boxes, and it's got all these different trainers, right? And I know one of them he paid £150 for. Well, they're now worth £200. Did you even know that? I bet some of the lads watching this now actually already know that I'm not telling you anything new. But I bet a lot of the ladies don't, because I certainly don't. And I am a lady. We are ladies. We are ladies. We are ladies. I don't know what type of lady I'm going to be yet. I haven't had my set of instructions from Mark Bowles yet. French maid, bikini model, page 3 girl. I mean, I could, to be honest, I think I could be a page 3 girl at the moment. I won't lie to you. And he bought these boxes down. And yeah, very nice. Very nice, these trainers. I like bright colours. I like colourful. I like colourful. And some of these trainers were colourful. One of them was just plain old grey. And yet it's worth all this money. And Gary was telling me people literally seek... I mean, you've got to know what you're doing. It's the same with artwork, isn't it? Or wine. I expect there's an awful lot of money lost by people in art and wine and stuff like that from people going out and buying stuff thinking, it'll be worth a lot of money. And you can't just go and buy anything. You have to know what you're doing. And Gary, my nephew, clearly knows. He's got his fingers in so many pies. Believe me. Would you ever buy a car for my nephew? No. He's got his fingers in so many pies, and he knows. He's clearly watched this. I suppose if you're a lad and you're into this sort of thing, you would know automatically. A little bit like I know fairly a lot of stuff about audio equipment and all this. I wouldn't buy a microphone to do this show for 20 quid. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't. I had, when I started doing this, I had to. Oh, we've got newsflash coming in. I won't bother. That's about the coronavirus. Do you want to know this? Government intends to drop quarantine rules for fully jabbed UK residents returning from amber countries. That's me. I won't be going anywhere, darling. Don't need to. I've got it. I'm here. I'm here on my holiday. I don't need to be queuing up for bleeding tests and all this at the airport. Oh, can't touch anyone. Oh, got to have a mask on a plane. Sod that. What, when I can jump in my car for like 3.5 hours and be here in the middle of the English countryside and, more importantly, am able to get Mr. Whippy ice creams? Can't get those on the beach in Spain, can you? Oh, and woe betide you if you go to bleeding Barbados and ask for beans on toast. They just laugh in your face. Sod that, mate. You have to eat all that foreign food. Can you just imagine sitting down in Beijing in a Chinese restaurant? Okay, have you got any beans on toast? Here? They'd just laugh at you, wouldn't they? Cats on toast, maybe, but not beans on toast. Anyway, back to the story, mate. And I was amazed. And there's even a website. I said, well, I've looked on eBay. How much? And I said, how much? Oh, you mustn't buy fake stuff. Don't buy fake Louis Vuitton and Nike. But apparently you can. You can buy fake stuff as well. I said, well, how much is a fake pair of Nike? He says, about £35. I said, well, how is that dearer than the £20 ones I've just bought off Amazon from China? Where they don't do baked beans. Shocking state of affairs, isn't it, eh? People buy fake stuff. He said, well, eBay. And then he mentioned another website for you, which I'm going to tell you about now. If you're interested in this, you could look yourselves, okay? This is StockX. Now, again, we may have one or two lads watching the show, and you will know all about this already. I have only just discovered it. I am amazed that there is actually that these trainers, these or sneakers, if you're in the US, it's like a monetary thing. And this website is called stockx.com. I'll spell that for you. STOCKX.com. And on there, you can buy. I think you can, is it just buy or can you sell as well? Hang on. Buy and sell. It's like an eBay type thing. And it says buy and sell. First of all, you type in your brand. So I've typed in Nike, or some people call it Nike, don't they? Buy and sell the greatest Nike shoes. We've got every Nike sneaker, every silhouette, every collaboration, every colorway in every size. Shop below, right? And then there's all these pictures of trainers, and I have to say, you know, I do feel in a way I'm missing out a bit there. Now, I just said to you, I like bright colours, right? I did have a pair of red Ralph Lauren trainers some time ago, which eventually fell apart. I do wear my stuff until it's literally falling apart. You know, I don't know if it's ever happened to you. Have you ever been walking along with a pair of trainers on, and the bottom come like these slippers, like the bottom of it comes off, and you're walking along, and suddenly the bottom comes and catches the pavement, doesn't it? And over you go. To the great delight of me, if I see you actually falling over. Why do we like it when people hurt themselves? Anyway, I had these bright red trainers, and I always remember going over to my nephew's house once, and great nephew Harry was there, and you know what kids are like. They are probably. Probably I'm more excited to see them than they are to see me, to be honest. But he was there. All right, Chris. And then he stopped and he looked straight down. Like you look at someone as if they're filth. Do you know what I mean? Like that. You know, he said, "Hi, Uncle Chris." And his eyes went down to my feet. And he said, "What have you got on?" And they were my bright red trainers. He didn't like them. Didn't like them. How rude. That's a couple of years ago, that is. But I like the bright colours. And here, in front of me now, right, I'll take a picture for you, is the most amazing display of trainers in all the colours that you could possibly imagine. I think I'm missing out here. And Gary said to me, it's a bit like, women and handbags. Now, I know my niece, Tracy, is over inside, but look at all these lovely colours, right? We can zoom in on one or two. I think my particular favourite on here would be that one at the bottom there. Okay, that would be my particular favourite there. All right, green and yellow. And this website gives little descriptions on all the trainers as well. So that one I just showed you is the Nike Dunk Low Brazil. Cost, and it came out in 2000, it tells you the date it came out, £273. £273 for a pair of bloody trainers. Oh, don't think that's the dearest ones. They do have some cheaper ones on here. They've got the orange pair you just saw, £77. It says lowest ask. So presumably you could click, let's just do it. Click on that £77 one. Let's do that, right? Click on £77. It says last sale £144. So someone's paid £144 for those. And then there's a green thing here. It says lowest ask £100. Let's see what happens if I click on that. Lowest ask £100. Oh, it depends on the size. So I'm a size 9. So for my size 9, £180.36. It's crazy. But Gary, my nephew, looks at it as an investment. And I think he's got 4 or 5 pairs. no, 4. I think it's 4 boxes. He had 4 boxes on the floor. He said, that lot on there, there's £500 worth of trainers there. 4 pairs of trainers, £500. But there's other ones here. Nike Dunk Low SP, Syracuse or something, 2020, £460. Right? And another one here. Oh, how about these ones? Let's get oh, it says oops. What does that mean? Stock error page. Okay, well I'll show you. Then now the most expensive one on this, but you think this is expensive? I ain't finished with this yet. Right? Let's have a look here. If you're sending a message, thanks very much. I'll come to those in a moment or two when we've done this. Where are we now? Why haven't I got? Why can't I see that one? Where's the yellow one? There's the blue one. There's the green one. Where's the green one? Oh, I haven't taken a picture of that one yet. Hang on a minute. Here we are. Look. All right. So I said I like bright colours. So this one wouldn't appeal to me. But there's one like black. What is it? Nike SB Dunk Low Travis Scott regular box. All right. There you go. £1,290. And the idea is that you buy some of this stuff. It comes. I suppose I don't know if you open the box or not, really. Gary had opened all his boxes, but you don't touch them or anything like that. Oh, try not to touch them. Certainly don't put a mark on them. You put them in a box, put them in a cupboard, hold them on and sell them at some other point. Did you know this? Along the side there of this particular site, it's got prices. Now, for some reason, they're all in dollars. I don't know why that is. Maybe this place is in... But one of the things is $600 plus. So let's click on that and see what we get there. Yeah, 1,443. £1,078. £878. I wonder what... £2,070. Yeah, that's the dearest one so far. You want to have a look at that one? 2,000... And it's nice. It's nice. To me, it's nothing special, right? But it is an investment, you know. Of course, a lot of these young lads, they would be well into this. It's a bit like going in the old... you remember when Maplins was here? Here, let's get that one for 2... Yeah. Oh, blimey. Oh, yeah. £2,070, that one. Look. It's crazy. You know, these. But there must be some girls as well who are into this, I would imagine. But they know about this. They've grown up with trainers. You know, one of these lads, you'd take them into an art institute, and wouldn't have a clue, would they? Oh, Mona Lisa, that's not. I wouldn't give you a fiver for that, mate. But they're quite happy to hand over a couple of £1,000 for a pair of trainers because they know. Moria. I mean, what ones do I like? Well, there's a pair that I like there, blue and yellow, £716. And while we were out earlier, £1,433. What's that? Nike SB Dunk Low Ben & Jerry Chunky. And they've done it so that it's the same colours as a Ben & Jerry thing. I am amazed at this. Why has no one ever told me about all this business? Look at that, look. So there we are. While we were out, actually, in Skegness, Gary pulled out some other website with trainers on it. I can't remember what it was. I think it might have been worn by a basket player or something like that. And these pair of trainers were over £1 million. I kid you not. £1 million for a pair of trainers. Anyway, while we're there, and Harry, great nephew Harry, is taking great interest in all this. And I said, "What's your favourite pair of trainers?" And he went and bought them down. So there they are. There's Harry with his favourite pair of trainers there. Great nephew Harry. Proudly stand up. They're a little bit battered. I'm not quite sure that they're going to be worth sort of into the £1 million bracket there. But yeah. Wow, I don't know what else to say. So I mean, that's about it really. That's all about the trainers, and I'm glad I discovered it. Really. he gets them and he puts them in the cupboard to in perhaps in a few years' time, or maybe knowing my nephew, he'll probably hand them over to great nephew Harry when he's older, and he'll hold on to them. And who knows, with the way inflation goes and what have you, maybe my great nephew Harry will own trainers at some point in the future that are worth more than £1 million. I mean, the value of this caravan and all its contents doesn't even come close to that. Or all my houses put together. It's outrageous, isn't it? I don't know. So then from there we went to Skegness. I jumped in the fun bus and we went to Skegness. And the weather was okay. No sunshine at all. No sunshine. It was completely overcast, but it wasn't cold at all. It was absolutely the perfect temperature. And we went over to the trawler's catch. I have to say it's a little bit slower in there at the moment, but of course they used to have I think they had 5 serving counters, and now there's like 2 or 3. Oh no, there must have been more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think there were 8 serving counters before, and now it's like 3 due to coronavirus restrictions. They have to leave one out in the middle, so it does take a little bit longer to be served, but it's always worth it in there, always worth it. And do you know what made it even better? It was Martin's turn to buy the dinner, so I haven't spent a penny. Well, I did. I bought an ice cream afterwards, and I had a large chips with baked beans, a pineapple fritter, and some onion rings and a cup of tea. Lovely. Very good value. And we sat there, and we came outside and sat on a bench, and of course it starts pissing down with rain, doesn't it? Oh God! And it wasn't too bad, to be honest. It wasn't like a thunderstorm or anything like that. And we're sitting there. I mean, what people must think? Look, we look like right pikers sitting there on these benches around the garden, and sitting there with me open thing of fish and chips, baked beans and chips, and it started coming down a bit heavier, so we went underneath a tree where there was a couple of benches. So many birds. Then my sister starts throwing chips on the ground. Oh Christ! Well, all the birds are coming now, aren't they? All the birds. There was the pigeons. They're not very racist, are they, birds? They don't attack each other for being a different colour. Why can't humans be like that? You know what I mean? None of them were going down on one knee at all. There were pigeons, there were thrushes, there was a sparrow, and my sister pointed out one that apparently was a bit of a bully. She found the negative one, surprise, surprise. This one was nicking the other chips from others. The seagulls weren't really coming down, strangely enough. And they got those beady eyes. Anyway, as this, and then Martin started throwing chips on the others. Oh Christ, the birds are everywhere, aren't they? I thought any moment now one is going to land on my shoulder and nick my chips. Much to the disgust of myself, I tell you. So that was lovely. And a lovely afternoon, really. We then walked along. I had to go to use the toilet, 20 pence. God, there's usually the pub open next door, or at least it is when we go at night time. It wasn't open, and I think the pub and the trawler's catch are connected to each other. The same owner, maybe, I don't know. But you can usually walk through one to, well, you do. That's the toilet. You use the toilet in the pub. Okay, and you go up these stairs and go there. But that was all closed off. And I wanted to have a wee, but my sister was a bit desperate, so she had to leave and go to the public convenience, which is just near the beach in Skegness. You walk past the clock and where all the ice creams, just on the right there near to the car park. And then I had my dinner after we sat on the benches, and I went over. 20 pence it is. 20 pence. But it's the same as in Mablethorpe. To be fair, you don't actually need a coin. Stacey gave me a coin. She gave me a 20 pence coin. But I could have done it from touch and go. Yeah, it's got one of those things. It sucked £20 out of your mobile phone, dear. Or 20 pence out of your mobile phone. Good, isn't it, really? You've got to have that now, all this touch and go business. And then after that, I was supposed to get my mate a stick of rock. And I went past a rock shop, but we were going to down further. I thought I'll get one down further. Unfortunately, we got down there and there wasn't another rock shop down there, so we didn't get that, I'm afraid. But I walked along the top with Stacey, my nephew's wife, and the sand had come quite far in, and they were having a bit of trouble pushing the pram with the lovely Olivia in it, unfortunately. But they moved it. They got it moving, and after that, we got to the car park, walked over. Well, we got back in the car, stopped at an ice cream place and got a lovely ice cream. Oh, which Gary bought. Gary bought me a lovely ice cream, very tasty, £1.50. Big, not small, big. £1.50. I told you what they're charging at the garden centre in Bracknell for ice creams, didn't I? Taking the piss there. £4.20, £4.30 for an ice cream. Next time I'm down there, I'll take a photo. Don't think I make these things up. Oh, we don't buy them. End of. You're ripping people off. £4.20 for an ice cream. £1.50 this ice cream was. Oh, what delicious. Big flake in it. Strawberry squeezy stuff on the top. I like that. Harry's sitting next to me in the front of the van, eating it. He's got a cola-like lorry. Didn't want an ice cream. So we ordered ice creams and then got back here. So a lovely day. Really, really nice day. Eating fish and chips in the rain. I mean, you don't get more British than that, do you? Lovely day, lovely day. Shall I try this insert ad? I'm going to try this now. Tell me what happens. I've no idea what's going to happen here. And I've no idea how I know there's an ad playing. Let me try something. Ready? Ready? Let's just stay there. Let's see what happens if I do this, right? Well, it says ad inserted. So I don't know what's happened there. The picture hasn't gone off in front of me. I don't know if it takes a break now and plays an ad and then picks up where I left off from. I have no idea. Nothing's happened in front of me. All I did, and it says ad inserted. I've no idea. So have you missed anything? I don't know if I'm still talking or what. Well, I don't know how that works. I'll have to get someone to watch it and tell me on the end of the phone or something next time I try that one out. I have no idea if you're back with me now, or you are, or whether it pauses me, plays the ad, and then comes back to me at the point where I clicked it. I've no idea how that works. I'll have to look that up. Well, it was worth a go, wasn't it? All right, gang, let's read some of your messages coming in today. Thanks so much for your messages. Good evening to Mark Bowles. Hello, my little love trumpet. Oh, I'd love to see your trumpet, Mark. I've never blown a trumpet properly before. No, I was a keyboard player. I've never had a blowing instrument. I don't know how good I'd be at it, to be honest, Mark. All right, my love. Good evening to Rachel Wheatland. Good evening to John Parrish. Hello to you. Sherry's had her second injection today. So far, so good. Oh, that's good, Sherry. Glad to hear it, my darling. She can't stop painting. She can't stop painting the house. Are you painting the house, Sherry? Why ain't he doing that? You're his wife, not his bloody servant. You make sure he knows that, my dear. Cheek. Good evening to Jason Hughes. Hello to Diane Jebb. Hello to you. Good evening to Steve Murray. Tell me that ain't your school uniform shirt, Chris. I put this on. I thought, oh, this is a bit dull. I did think this was a bit dull, and that's why I've got my patchwork quilt. Oh, what was those toys? Patchwork quilt? What are those toys? Dolls. Cabbage Patch Kids. Do you remember that? Did you have a Cabbage Patch Kid? Smelly, dirty things they were. With the word Cabbage Patch, it reminds me of cabbage farts. Did anyone's dad used to do those? Oh, God, cabbage farts. Awful, aren't they? No, it's not my school uniform. Do you think I can fit into my school uniform? I can only dream of being able to fit into any of my school clothes again. Thank you very much. Evening to you, Steve Murray. Good evening to Stephen Petty. Very good evening to you, Stephen. Hope you're well on this, Thursday night. Thursday night, gang. Where else are we? Evening to Fran Green. Good evening, Fran. Well, let's put the PayPal up. Well, put the PayPal up. Hang on a minute. If anyone wants to send a tip, there you go. Send it there, or you can do a super chat, all right? Entirely up to you. Don't have to. Got no money. Don't send me money, me money you haven't got, darling. Don't borrow money to send it to me, dear. I am not a building society. Good afternoon. Halifax Building Society can help you. You want to borrow how much? Yeah, just a minute. Computer says no. Evening to you, Fran. Evening to Peter Lake. We had a lovely time today. Thank you, Peter. It was really nice. Evening to Maureen. My God. Maureen has already... I mentioned Clarkson's farm, which we're going to talk about during the show today, which is the best thing at the moment on the telly. It is hilarious. Why is it hilarious? Because he hasn't got a bloody clue. That's why. It's really good. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. But Maureen's just texted in. She says, I've now watched episode 5 on Clarkson's farm. They're very short videos, about 15 minutes long. Ah, no, you're not getting the same then. You're not getting the same. Is it the same for you on Amazon Prime? Very short episodes. They have 1 or 2 ads just at the start of your live shows. Oh, I see. So, right, so when you click on, when you watch my show live, when you first click on it, you get a couple of ads in. Are they the only ads you get then? Because I don't know. Obviously, I can't. I mean, I would. Oh, believe me, Maureen, if I could watch myself on the telly, I would do. It can't be anything better than watching me on the telly. It's like when I do the radio shows, you know, once I finish the radio shows, if I go out maybe litter picking or maybe if I'm in the car, what do you think goes on? I listen to my own shows. There's nothing better on, is there? Let's be fair. Come on, it's me or Amanda Holden, you know. Amanda, I'm a professional singer. Oh, lovely for you, darling. Lovely. That's very nice for you too. No, no, Maureen. On Amazon Prime, they are, I think, about an hour long each episode. So you're clearly only getting the highlights on YouTube. I don't think, who is it now? John Parrish. I don't think he was with us earlier, but I took the opportunity to thank you earlier on the radio show for telling us that the Jeremy Clarkson's farm thing is on YouTube. It turns out, according to Maureen, because I haven't seen it, that they're only 15 minutes long on YouTube. So they're obviously just showing you little bits. No, on Amazon Prime, they're about an hour each. I've now watched 2. I've now watched 2 of them. My God, so funny. Thank you, Maureen. Good evening to George Bond. Evening to Jeff. Hello to Jeff and Linda. Hello to you two wonderful people. Jeff owns a caravan next to me. Hi, Chris. Hope you're well and enjoying Chapel Hill. Yes, had a lovely week actually up here. We hope to be down for the 40th weekend at Thorpe Camp Visitors Centre, Tattershall. In answer to your question about Jeremy Clarkson's new programme, Gerald Cooper is brilliant. The way he confuses Clarkson is priceless. Who's Gerald Cooper? Oh, hang on a minute. Is he the bloke that they can't understand? I'll come to it in a minute. If it's the same person, I've got a feeling I know who you mean. Actually, Gerald Cooper. He confuses Clarkson. Yes, yeah, it's got to be him, Gerald. It's got to be Gerald. I'll come to that in a little while. Thank you very much. Evening to Gary Ross. Hello, Gary, in Northern Ireland, who says, "How's it hanging, big lad?" Well, it's still big. Thanks for asking. I knew you'd be interested at some point, Gary. You'll have to fight Mark. And Gary says there's an eBay resellers who go around charity shops and car boot sales buying vintage Adidas and Nike trainers and clothing and selling them on. Yeah, I mean, that's not dissimilar to the thing my nephew does. Made a business out of buying stuff that's broken, fixing it and selling it on. One of my friends, he used to buy broken computers on eBay, laptops namely, and he would sell them on. And I was talking to him, and apparently he'll spend sort of between £60 and £70 on a broken laptop on the internet. He gets them in, fixes them, and sells them for 250 quid. Why not? Brilliant. In fact, I bought one of them because that 250 quid was a lot cheaper than the 700 bleeding pound they wanted. Have you seen the price of laptops now? What happened there? How did they get so expensive so suddenly? Because they were always sort of a reasonable... You could get a very reasonable laptop for 250 quid. Yeah, it would do the things that most people want a laptop to do. Isn't it? Yeah. I remember a friend of mine, Jason, who I worked with at the Black Cat, and he bought this new laptop. Oh, God. It was a Sony Vaio, something like a Sony laptop thing. And this bloody laptop, this is like 20 years ago, was nearly £1,000 or maybe £1,200. And he said, "Oh, I bought a new laptop." I said, "Why have you bought that?" I said, "Well, what are you using it for?" "Well, I just go on the internet, watch videos and that, send a few emails." I said, £1,200? I said, "You could have got a £300 one for that." "Oh, yeah, but it's got loads of free software." "Well, what are you going to use the software?" "Well, I don't know. It might come in useful." What a mug. People don't look into that thing. But then again, to be fair to him, he probably didn't know a lot about computers. You know how it is when you go into some of these shops, Currys and all that, they try and send you like the gold-plated cables, don't they? You don't need gold-plated cables. You certainly don't need gold-plated HDMI leads. HDMI leads, maximum price you spend, £10. Do not be mugged off going into blooming Curry's and spending 80, 90, £100 on a gold-plated cable. Completely unnecessary. All these cables on my telly and sound system, they're just basic cables. £5, £10 cables. In fact, I think you can even get HDMI cables in the pound shop. Not sure if you can or not. I think you can. Do not be spending that mugged off in Curry's. Outrageous. Anyway, Gary also goes on to say there's a big market, even the retro Sega and Nintendo gaming consoles and PlayStations 1 and 2. Of course, I've had a couple of these. I've had a Wii, two actually, before I came on the show today. No, I've had a Wii games controller. I had PlayStation 1. You know, I gave them away. I give stuff away once I don't need it anymore. I can't be arsed with all this selling stuff on eBay. I mean, some of the stories on there, you know, people send stuff off and then the other end says, well, it hasn't arrived. Or they say, oh, I want my money back and all this business. Well, I had the problem, didn't I, with a microphone. Do you remember that? Bought a wireless microphone. Well, it turns out it didn't suit my receiver, but he wouldn't send the money back. Wouldn't send it back. I said, look, I'll send it back. So you no. It says on there, bought as soon. So I contacted eBay. They got involved. They immediately refunded my money after giving him a period of time. Right? And I had to print off a label and sent it back. While I had this label printed, he then sent me an email saying, could you please send it here? And I thought, well, that looks a bit dodgy. So I contacted eBay. I said, he's asked me to send it here. Nope, they said, send it to the address that we've given you and that will be fine. So I did. So I sent it to this address. Weeks went by, got my money straight back from eBay. Got a snotty email from him. Just ignore that. You know. He wouldn't send the money back of his own accord. So eBay clearly sucked it back out of his account somehow. I don't know, PayPal thing or whatever it is. Because they haven't got PayPal anymore, have they, eBay? And weeks went by and I thought, didn't hear a thing. And then suddenly this microphone turned back up at my house. I said, it hasn't been collected by the person you sent it for. So I rang up eBay. I said, well, this microphone's come back to me. Oh, that means he hasn't collected. Well, it's yours then. Do what you like with it. Fine. You know. But it's very interesting to find out this. Of course, we know about people collecting stamps. I had no idea people collected trainers, really. Who's this now? Gary says... there's loads of YouTubers. Oh, yes, I've seen some of these record themselves going around even old Disney toys. You'd be amazed. Even old LP records, big money. He says the price of laptops went up because of lockdown, more kids studying at home and people on furlough sitting about all day. Yeah, it's fair enough there. Good evening to Paul and Joe listening in Cornwall. Good evening to you. There's our Sherry. Hello, Sherry. She's had a day off. She's had her second COVID injection. Busy painting our gate drawers and our lounge. Love your new sandal earrings. Yeah, I haven't got a picture of that, unfortunately. I've got sandal earrings now. Great niece Evie wanted me to look after her sandals while she went on the beach, so I used them as earrings. She's lovely now. She's tall and thin, and she rides on them. She does horses. Great niece Evie. Evening to Shania Steele. Good evening, Shania. Hope you're well on this Thursday night. There's Richard Morris. Hello, Richard. Evening, Richard. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late coming to all your messages because we were chatting around so much, weren't we? And Richard says there's a pair of trainers on eBay for £135,000. There are plenty of trainers that have sold at auction for a fortune, including some at over $1 million, and no, I didn't buy them. Oh, why is that, Rick? You can afford such things. Sell one of your houses, love. Go on, sell one of your houses and get a really nice FO pair of trainers. Impressors, turn up at the reopening of the Black Cap in that, if it ever happens, in your new trainers, lights flashing away on them and all that. Have you seen those lights? They've got a lot of the little kids wear them, don't they, with little lights going around the outside. I love it. You did get an ad then, did you? Okay, so you did actually get an ad then. Okay, Rich. So when you saw the ad, when the ad finished, did it kind of pick up from where I was? Or did it rejoin me somewhere else, if you see what I mean? I'm not sure. And you wouldn't know that, would you? Shall I do another one? Shall I do another one? Let me read the messages first, and then we might try another one of those. Good evening to Mick Davenport. Evening to you. The ads are playing on the rerun of the show. Oh, I know the rerun they do. I know the ads play on the recordings. Yes, Jeff says they got an ad then. Ollie K. Evening to Ollie K. Have you got any expensive trainers at Ollie? You get your dad to get JK to buy you a pair of expensive trainers. You know, £800, mate. That'll impress your friends at school. And Rachel says, speaking of Disney, Disney stores in the UK are closing in September. Are they really? Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. I quite like going in a Disney store, don't you? And looking at all these. I love it. And it's got a smell in it. Disney are very clever with their commercialism and all that. I think they probably pump some sort of smells into their stores. I mean, it's certainly the case when you go to Disneyland. I love it. I love it. Walking around Disney in Florida. I love it. And the smells of the biscuits and the sweets coming out of the stores. And it's not necessarily biscuits and sweets you can smell. They've got like smelling things and they're pumping out these smells to you. Oh, I love it, Disney. Oh, let's go back to Florida soon. Ollie says, £550 I think one of my pairs are worth. There you go, look. £550 is trainers have got a pair worth. It's crazy. Good evening to Andy, who says, I've got a pop vinyl toy figure from a TV series called Breaking Bad. That kind of rings a bell. I bought for around a tenner. Now it's worth nearly £200. Wow. I watch these shows on YouTube too, going around charity shops. Very informative. Yeah. You wish you'd kept stuff, really. I've got a few things. I've got a Whitney Houston boxed set, which I did look up, and I think it's worth about 75 quid. I've got a Michael Jackson one as well, I think. Michael Jackson boxed set of 12-inch singles. I've got an old Bakelite radio somewhere upstairs in the loft, I think. Oh, not that. I don't know if that would be worth any money. Funnily enough, I was watching a YouTube video of that the other day. Someone had bought this old Bakelite radio and cleaned it up. Oh, it looked marvellous once he'd finished doing it. I was a little bit shocked. He seemed to have some sort of liquid which he was doing with it. And I thought, what if that's going to get any electrics? But I suppose he knows what he's doing, you know. Unlike me. Right, I'm just going to try and play you an ad again, right? Okay, but this time, now what have I got to do? I've got to click that little button there. Okay, I'm just going to play an ad again, right? This time, what I'll do is I'm going to say 1 before the ad and then 2. And I'll count to 20, okay? And tell me at what point you rejoin me. Because I have no idea. I've got a feeling it actually, although I'm carrying on here talking, I've got a feeling it pauses me, right? It pauses me and then holds it in sort of its memory buffer type things and then picks up again. So if that's the case, you'll hear me say 1 and then 2 after the adverts. But you might get another number. I'd really be interested. Can you do that for me, lovies? All right? Right, so we'll just do one more message before we do that. Ollie K. JK now has the 4 South African one for some reason. That must be worth a bit. Oh, ask him. Ask him. See, loads of you know about this trainer thing. I never knew. Never knew. How is it 5 to 9 already? Blimey, that's gone quick, isn't it? 5 to 9. Don't forget, if you're watching, gang, you can either send a text. I'm not in the chat box. I'm never in the chat box. Either send a text, 0745 1287 337, or if you don't want to send a text, you can send an email. If you're in America, please use the email. For some reason, your texts don't come through. And the email is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. All right, Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is my email address. Right, I've got something here, and indeed there's an email here from Sophie. I beg your pardon, Caleb. It's Caleb in Scunthorpe. Good evening, Caleb. Caleb's watching tonight. Is your girlfriend around as well? Is Kaylee around today? Where's not Kaylee? Is Sophie around today? Caleb and Sophie are in the house tonight as well, so that's nice. Thank you very much. There's John Parrish. John texts in here, says, I've got an 89 pair of flip-flops here. The next year they will be worth a fortune. Not if you've been wearing them. I just imagine the mould dropping off of your feet onto those awful. Oh, don't come near me with those trotters, mate. I bet you got really horrible feet. I bet you have. Anyway, we're going to try and play an ad now. So I'm going to say the number 1, and then tell me what number you hear after that. Okay? Right, here it comes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Do you think that's enough? I don't know. Let's do another 10. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. There we go. So see what happens there. Did you get an ad? And if so, after the ad, what number did I speak? Or didn't you get any ads? Because I honestly, I have no idea how that works. Thank you very much. Rachel says, no ads appear on your show, Chris. Well, not on my phone anyhow, as I don't get ads. Oh, she's got a subscription. Oh, you must be very rich, Rachel. She's got subscription. Oh, have you subscribed to the music thing? The music thing. That's very good. Wow. Thank you, Rachel. Evening to Alan Ross. He's got trouble with his computer. Oh, it's back up and running. Good. Evening, Chris. Alan Ross says, got the PC back up and running, thank God. It was just an internal cable needed replacing. Oh, that's unusual, isn't it? I'm always amazed by cables that fail when they're never moved. An internal cable needed replacing in his computer, which is now done. Also gave me the opportunity to clean all the dust out of the graphics card. Oh my God, what, on the fan? Attached to the fan and a little filter in it. Yeah, well done, Alan. Alan's back on the radio. What is it, Thursday? Not tonight. No, he's on tomorrow night. It's the other bloke on tonight. Brandon, isn't it? Are you related? I think you're related to Brandon, aren't you? Are you in the same house or is he? I can't remember now. Jeff says you never went off. Thank you. Shania said I heard you count from 1 to 30. Oh, George didn't get any adverts at all. And Ollie says no ad. Oh, well, that didn't work, did it? I don't know then. I don't know where that works then. But did you get an ad the first time? People got an ad the first time, didn't you? But you didn't the second time. It says ad inserted. Did anyone get an ad the first time? I've no idea how that works. Never mind. Anyway, there we go. Alrighty, let's get on with this, man. I showed you my new Amazon Echo, and as I say, tried to set it up here. It just won't connect to my router, so I'm going to take that one home, and it'll probably go in the bedroom there, because I can't see my clock in the bedroom. I mean, again, it's not lit up or anything like that. Perhaps I should have a little spotlight on my clock in the bedroom, something like that. You were just talking about Disney a moment ago, Rachel. Now, it's always going to be sort of fairly expensive, Disney. The question is, how expensive? Now, they do give a lot for what you get, right? When you spend, I don't know what the tickets are now for Disney in Florida. Disney Florida tickets. Let's have a quick look, shall we? Disney Florida ticket price. Let's see how much they are. I wouldn't be surprised if they were coming on $200 now, which is about 160 quid. Let's have a look. Disney £465. Oh, surely not. Here we are. Okay. Walt Disney World theme park ticket prices. wdwinfo.com. What's that then? Exclusive deals. Let's get them from. We want them straight from Disney, don't we? Oh, what's this here? Walt Disney. Here we are. Oh, I can't even see it. It's so small. Walt Disney theme park prices. One park per day. Oh, it's a bit complicated. Well, it says 6 days is. Oh, here we are. 1 day, $109. I mean, to me, that's fairly reasonable. So you go in one park in Disney in Florida, $109, which I think that's fairly reasonable. Let me tell you, $109, so 75, 80 quid, something like that. approximately. And I'm telling you now, if you spent 80 quid, you went to Disney, you would see the value of that money in there. It's not rip-off. Seriously, it's not. I mean, what you get in that order, as long as you get there early, and you blooming well turn up at 5 o'clock in the afternoon for the last 2 hours, then it's not worth the money. You've got to be there early, dear. I think it's a 10 o'clock opening. And then I think you can get other tickets which get you into earlier, if you want that, But if you was to get there at 10, you'd get there at 10 and you'd be there till 10. 12 hours, $109. Not bad, is it? Even for a family, so you'd be talking for a family, 2 adults, 2 children, 1, 2, 3, 4, $400, $420. So for days out in 400, you see, it gets dear when you get a family, $400, 300 quid. 300 quid for a day for a family, then it starts looking more expensive to me. Because I'm on my own. It didn't really cost me. If I was a father with several children, or 10, like some of them have got, all different fathers. You usually find them in the Star or something like that, don't you? And it does come out to quite expensive. But the Daily Mail reported yesterday the magic is too expensive. And it says Disney has been accused of pricing out loyal customers by targeting affluent families with $800 hotel rooms. That's per night. $800 hotel. So that's £650 a night. Per hotel room. We can do it at bloody Mandarin Oriental for that in the middle of London. Disney? I mean, I'm sure it's like the top hotel. You're probably staying in that Castle Hotel for that, I would imagine. But nevertheless, £800 hotel rooms and $800 and $100 sandwiches at its theme park, despite having scaled back its magic since the pandemic began. A family vacation to Disneyland, once the pinnacle of summertime for middle-class American families, today will set a family of 4 back more than $6,000. I mean, that's it's almost what I paid when I went to Australia for 5 weeks. Some years ago, I went to Australia for 5 weeks. It was an expensive holiday. And 5 weeks, to me, it was too long. But you don't know when you book it. 5 weeks, fantastic. It was too long to be away. 5 weeks. It really was. Oh my, and of course the case. 5 weeks worth of bleak and clothes. Oh dear, it was heavy. 6,000 family vacation to Disneyland, it says in the Daily Mail. Once the pinnacle of summertime for middle-class American families, will today set a family of 4 back more than $6,000. With the average, and then it goes on about the average income, stands at $5,725 a month. It means a visit to the so-called happiest place on earth is increasingly out of the range of the average American family. Wow. It says the hefty price tag comes despite pandemic-related restrictions, squeezing some of the magic out of the experience. Firework displays, shows and the iconic character parades have gone due to social distancing rules, with the first fireworks set for return on July the 4th. They don't even... Because in the American Disney, they have fireworks every night, whatever park you're in. I'm not sure about the animal park. Certainly in... the Disney Castle one, what one's that? Is that Fantasyland? Epcot Centre. And what's the other one? And the other... Magic Kingdom, Epcot Centre, and there's another one, which they used to call MGM Studios. I think they changed the name of that. But each one of those has its own massive fireworks show every single night. Well, they've done away with it all. It says, yet... instead of slashing the prices to make up for the disappointment, costs have continued to climb. Wow, it's unbelievable. A 5-day trip to Disney World for a family of 4 now costs $6,033, according to Business Insiders. It includes a ticket at a cost of $2,316, a 4-night stay in a family suite at one of the park's budget hotels. Budget hotels. All right, so I suppose that's something like... Hotel Cheyenne or something like that, $2,617, and a lowest cost dining plan of $1,100. And you spend it's very expensive to eat at Disney. Very expensive. It's even worse at Euro Disney. It's really expensive to eat at Euro Disney, and there's not a massive choice either. Certainly not if you're a vegetarian. Last time I went was with my nephew and his family, not too long ago, about 3 or 4 years ago, I think it was, and I basically survived on pizza. It's just even the McDonald's didn't have veggie burgers, and believe it. And it was expensive there, very expensive to eat there. And the thing is with the Euro Disney, right? There's nowhere else to eat, really. I mean, you're miles away from anywhere. When you go to the Florida one, okay, you're there for the day, but then you go back to your hotels, wherever they are, as long as you're not on site, so to speak. Perhaps one of the many, many hotels on International Drive or something like that. And they got all these fast food places all over the place, Applebee's and Chili's and Fridays. Me and when I took my nephew there, our favourite place I think was probably Chili's. It's just like fast food, chips, pizzas, burgers, but it was a very large selection of stuff, and it wasn't that expensive to eat outside of Disney. Once you start buying stuff in Disney, I mean, it's really expensive, really. It says on the Daily Mail, it doesn't include add-on experiences, air travel or transport costs, parking fees. You pay to park as well? Oh, yes. The car park's not free? Gosh. Doesn't include add-on experiences. That would be something like perhaps breakfast with the characters. And it's nice. It's very nice. You go in earlier than everyone else. And you sit down and you have breakfast. Again, very different in the American one than it is in the European one. Okay, in the American one, an all-you-can-eat buffet is an all-you-can-eat buffet. Trays and trays and trays of food. Anything you can want. Pancakes, bacon, sausages, eggs, huge mounds of this stuff. You just go and help yourself. Not in the European one, mate. Oh, no. Okay, the bread might be like that. But this bloke comes along, puts a couple of slices of bacon on your bleeding plate. Or at least that's how it was when we were there. Now, I was disappointed with that because, of course, I know the American one because I've been there so many times. Luckily, very lucky to have had these experiences. Very lucky. I know there are people that will never be able to afford that, and I've been 5 times. How lucky am I? A couple of times on my own. That's fine. Don't bother me. Don't bother me on my own. I love it. I love it. Just walking around. And it's not necessarily the getting on the rides that does it for me. I like to see people having a good time. These little ones on these rides and their eyes are like wide open with excitement. That to me is part of the enjoyment. And if you can take someone younger, as I did, my nephew, watching him, he went on these roller coasters, didn't he? Sod that, I ain't getting on there, mate. I sat on a bench with an ice cream. What's that one? He went on this rock one. Aerosmith. I think it was Aerosmith with guitars and that, and he went on this one. I said, all right, I'll see you in a minute. Off he went on. He was 17 at the time he went on there. And my pleasure is sitting there having the ice cream. No problem at all. Not bothered about sitting there. That's fine. Please go and enjoy yourself. And the look on his face when he gets back because he's had a good time. That was what that holiday was to me. Not actually doing it all. Wonderful. And if you can take someone small with you and even younger than that, of course he was 17. You imagine taking someone who's 10 years old. A little girl or a boy, 10 years old. You imagine taking them and seeing their faces when Mickey Mouse comes along and shakes their hand. Or probably touches elbows now. And the kids like to go around and collect autographs from these people. They're all sort of signing Mickey Mouse. It's amazing how they're all so happy all the time. You can imagine once they've gone back to the office, they're like, oh, Christ, another load of kids to sign again. I wonder how many of them get writer's cramp, having to write all their blooming autographs all the time. And the princesses are always so happy. Hello, how are you today? And all this. I bet that smile disappears when they get back to the office. Especially in Florida. They must be so hot in those outfits. They must be sweating buckets under those outfits in Florida. But to see the little faces, I don't know, when Pluto comes along. Wonderful. Anyway, it says in this story, Disney prices are only increasing as the company appears to be shifting its focus to target wealthier customers, which is an enormous shame. Really, really is. I like to see everyone having a chance. Do you know what I mean? Disney World has increased its ticket prices at roughly double the rate of inflation over the 2010s in an effort to compete with Universal Studios, which opened its Wizarding World of Harry Potter in 2016. Now, I personally prefer Disney to Universal. Too many fast rides. I'm not into fast rides. I'm into It's a Small World. La 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 la. It was a bit creepy, to be honest, when someone done a YouTube video about how creepy It's a Small World is. But I like that. Sitting on that little boat, round and round for hours. I can go on that. Could you bring me an ice cream? I just want to go around once more. No eating on the rides, please. It says Disney doesn't like to lose. Not just lose. Disney doesn't even like to compete. Disney wants to dominate the competition. Since it reopened in April after shutting due to the pandemic, Disneyland has turned its attention to premium add-ons, Business Insider reports. Wealthy visitors can now pay an extra $60 charge to get a better score on the new Spider-Man ride. Now, to me and you, that probably wouldn't bother you. But to a young child, they want to beat the opposition. Oh, mummy, daddy, please, mummy, daddy, please buy me the extra point so that I can beat my friend in the other car. That's how it would be, isn't it? That's so wrong. So wrong. It says, people with a big appetite, might be me, can fork out $100 for a supersized sandwich at the new Pym Test Kitchen on the Avengers campus. I don't know what that is, which has consistently seen a 4-hour wait since it first opened on June the 4th. What, you wait 4 hours to go and get a bleeding sandwich? You must be off your heads. Don't they have Tupperware there? A little Tupperware plastic box. That's what my sister would be doing if I was going with her. She'd make us all sandwiches. She's very good at that. It says the Pym Nye sandwich. So, I see. So it's not quite the whole story here, right? The Pym Nye sandwich serves between 6 and 8 guests and contains salami, rosemary ham and sun-dried tomato spread and toasted focaccia bread. Focaccia bread, is that how you say it? American families, many of whom were hit hard by the pandemic, are starting to be turned off by the rising prices. Of course they are. It's not right. Why should only people with loads of money be able to go? Should be open to all people. That's not fair. Little children, just because the dads have got more money or the mums have got more money, they get to do more than the poor kids. Nah. It's not right, is it? The least expensive room available for a night in July, one of the busiest months for the theme parks, is $163 at Disney's All-Star Movies. But on the same night, the least expensive room at a Disneyland Resort hotel, I don't know what the difference. What's that then? Oh, I see. The least expensive room at a Disneyland Resort hotel is £463 at Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel. It's reported. I don't get that. The least expensive. I don't know what that is. The hotel regularly costs about $500 for a standard resort, while Disney's Grand Californian Hotel can charge about $800 for a standard room. Wow. Well, of course, I mean, and I'm going to leave that story there because we could spend the entire show, to be honest, doing this one story. Of course, your other option, which is the one I've never stayed at a Disney. Yes, I have. I lie. I stayed at Hotel Cheyenne, I think it was, and Hotel New York at Disney and Euro Disney. So we were on site. And the reason I stayed there was because it was family. Certainly the Hotel New York is because I was with family. And you don't want them to have to get all on a bus or a coach and travel, especially with children with you as well, you know. Olivia was with us. I'm sure Olivia was with us. And she needs like the special pram and all that. We nearly didn't get on the train with that. They said, "Oh, you haven't booked the specials?" Yes, we have. Oh, boy, they've both gone. And my nephew's wife, she's very good at sorting things out like that, stand there and rowed with the train people, and we got on. They weren't going to let us go on there. Terrible state of affairs. Someone had mucked up and not told them we had a disabled girl with us. So we needed special seats. No one had told them that. I can't remember how we got on in the end. You know, the train's all right going to Disney and Euro Disney. It's all right. But they stayed at the Hotel New York there, as I say, because it's on site, and then you can walk into the park. If you go into the Florida one, generally a lot of the hotels have a free shuttle in the morning. So you get on a little bus and it takes you to the resort. Much cheaper to stay outside of Disney and bus in with your theme park ticket. I've never stayed in the resort in Florida. The last one time I went was with my nephew, which is 5 or 6 years ago now. I had the best holiday ever with him, I tell you. And we had a suite. I can't remember the name of the suite. Something Suites. But nevertheless, and we were on the top floor. We had the most fantastic view, right? We came in, went down this hallway, and there was his room, and there was a living room, come kitchen with a telly and a balcony, and there was my room on the other side. It's fantastic. Fantastic. For nowhere near the price that they charge at these Disney places. Of course, Disney would argue, well, we spend a lot of money on this, that, and the other. Yeah, we know that, mate. We know that. How much are you actually making on top of that, though? That's what I'd like to know. Some of your texts coming in. Shania says, maybe the ads are put in the recording at those times. You could be right there. Yeah, when I was hitting that ad button, maybe that's what happens. And Rachel also says maybe the ads appear on playback only. Thank you. Thank you there. George has just Googled it. Apparently, you're only allowed to have one advert per live stream. Oh, right, okay. Well, I don't know how any of that works, George. Never mind. We don't worry too much about that. Sophie's there. Good evening, Soph. Caleb's there. We are all well today, Caleb. He's quite a new viewer. He's been watching the show for a while and has now started joining in with all the others. Oh, my God. John Parrish has just sent me a picture of his feet in. Oh, my God, they're vile. Do you want to see them? Yeah, I've got to show you this picture. Hang on a minute. Where is it now? What's happening here? 1 minute now. Let me do that. Have I got the phone number up there? No, not yet. There we are. John Parrish's feet. Oh my God. They are the worst feet I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. This is one of our viewers watching at the moment. Picture John Parrish's feet. That's frightening, isn't it, eh? Look. Looks like an ape. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Does he make ape-like noises, Sherry? When doing various things. I'm just going to check my spam. Because the other day we had an email go in from the spam, didn't we? What's Pocket Studio? What on earth is that? No, nothing in the spam. Just double checking there. Okay. If you're in the chat box, I'm not in the chat box. If you want to send me a message, please use the email there, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, or you can send a text. 07451 287 337 is my text number. All right. Also, I was going to say to you, now, do you remember that flat I was having a little bit of a problem with? Okay, there's a bloke in there. He'd done nothing but moan since he moved in. Nothing but moan and moan and moan. And then I told you, right, that now, to be fair, there's a couple of problems in this flat that I'm having difficulty with. I'm not a DIY man, as you know. I'm certainly not a plumber or a washing machine or shower technician, okay? Here's the problem. Number one, the shower recently replaced because the other one wasn't working properly. I don't think it was the shower now because it comes up, a little light keeps coming on it, low pressure, right? To me, that means the water is not coming through quick enough. One of the first things I think I'd do probably is find the stopcock and see if it was turned on properly. Presumably, someone has done that. Now, my properties are looked up. I haven't got loads, and don't get me wrong, I haven't got loads and loads, but I've got a few, okay? Right? And they're all looked over by the estate agent. I'm kind of fairly happy with how they deal with things, right? So that's problem number one. Problem number two is the washing machine. When it finishes, fills up with dirty water, grey water. So far, we've had a washing machine engineer turn up twice. The second time, at no cost to me. Thank you very much. And we've now had a shower man go round there, both of which say they can't find anything wrong with the appliances. And we've also had a plumber go round there who said they can't find anything wrong with the pipe work. And that's where we are at the moment. But this, and I'm on it. Don't worry, you know. Once I know someone's not happy with something, I'm on it like that. I'm not one of these slum landlords. The boiler breaks down in March, and for a year they don't get any hot water. No, I couldn't sleep at night. Seriously, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I was like that. So we don't know. We're a bit up in the air, really, and these messages keep going backwards and forwards. But he's been moaning a lot. That's not the only thing. He does nothing but moan, this bloke. And he's come back now and he said, look, would the landlord be happy to let me go on the 1st of July? Now, if you know anything about renting, you sign up for a period of time. If you want to go early, that's fine. You can go early, but you have to pay a certain amount of rent. And to be honest, it's not worth the hassle. I couldn't do it. If someone is really that unhappy, I could not take money out of them. I do not believe in making money out of people's misery. And he's obviously miserable there. Yeah, he is moaning a lot. Fortunately, I don't hear his moaning because I'm not at the end of that phone. That's the estate agent's job. And I think at one point they had to read him the Riot Act. But this has gone on for weeks and weeks. Ever since he moved in there, he's done nothing but moan. Anyway, so she rang me up the other day. And she said, what do you want to do? We can hold him to 3 months. I said, no, for Christ's sake, no. I said, it's not worth the aggravation. Because you could do that and then you know what people are like? Oh, well, I'll smash the flat up then. Oh, you don't want that. You don't want that. He's actually got all new windows in there as well. I had the windows done just before he went. All brand new windows. It was all painted. But there's these two problems that they don't seem to be able to sort out. Funny, isn't it? Don't know what it is. And I haven't got a clue. The only thing I could think of is, and why wasn't it happening to the person before him? She never reported anything. She's the one that left it in a state. She lost her deposit, mate. Writing on the wall, smashed doors inside. She's obviously had some sort of fight in there. The doors, the internal doors, had holes in them. It's probably the worst move out I've ever had in the 21 years I've been doing this. When my mother and father died, with my half of the money, I put it into properties. And I've had them now for about 21 years. My mate says, because now on changeover, sometimes I go up there, and my mate says the trouble with your places is they are all quite dated. And actually, he's right. He is right. My places are a little bit dated, but that is reflected in the rent that they go out for, right? You know, there are flats in Bracknell, brand new flats, wooden floors, all very modern kitchens, you know, flat, beautiful, you know, very modern. Mine aren't like that. But then I'm not charging £1,200 a month. You know, you reflect that in the rental. So what do you want to do? Do you want to spend, to be honest, they could all do with new kitchens. That being said, right, my kitchen was done when I moved in there. I'm 25 years old, my kitchen. But that doesn't bother me, you see. I'm not one of these people that everything needs to be modern. Oh, keep it update. I'm not like that. You know, I'll be coming here. You come in here and see how old-fashioned it is in here. Doesn't bother me at all. Long as I can do what I like, i.e. this, right? Long as I can cook a meal, long as I can watch a decent television and hear it with a decent sound system, and I've got a bed and a decent shower, I'm happy. Happy days. These people, they spend a fortune every couple of years. They do up their house. But that's their thing, isn't it? That's their thing. That's their thing, isn't it? Gary Ross reckons he's tampering with the shower so he can go to the council, get on the waiting list and get priority points. Do you reckon so? Gary Ross says that. You could be right, Gary. I don't know. But nevertheless, I mean, so he wants to go on the 1st of July. And I say to her, I talk to her like I talk to people on the phone. I said, oh, FFS, you know what that means. FFS, just let him go on the 1st of July. You know, it's just not worth the hassle of trying to get money. And then what happens? He will move out. They hold on to the deposit. Someone goes round there with a tick list, and it's all done. That costs 200 quid. When she bleeding goes round there, nearly 200 quid for a checkout report. But it is very, very thorough, really thorough. You know, scratch spotted on kitchen worktop. That's how far down it goes. Mark on wall, bottom left-hand corner, and there'll be a little photograph. So they are quite thorough in that, but 200 quid for this. And the checkout report will come. That will go to the estate agent. And this is why you pay the estate agent. They will look at that checkout report, and then they will ring me and say, well, there's a few bits here that we want to claim for. Again, it very much depends on the attitude of what the tenant was with. Now, there was an old lady who had a flat from me, and she was there 15 years. Never defaulted on the rent, never complained except for one time when the flat above leaked water in and some of her tiles came off. And even then, you know, I got them fixed as quickly as I could, never complained, never heard a word out of her. And then when she moved out, you know, obviously, and she'd never had it decorated. I offered her several times, do you want your place decorated? You've had it a while now. No, it's too much hassle, to be honest. Right? So I never put her rent up anymore. I just stayed at what it was. I think maybe I hit a £10 one year and maybe £10 another. And that was about it. That was about it. And then she moved out. A checkout report come. Of course, lots of wear and tear. No, give her a deposit back. That's how I work. If you give me hassle, though, then, yeah. You know, I'll have some of that back, please. Thank you very much. But he had all new windows. He had a lovely new door downstairs. All you know, that plastic door stuff. Did nothing but moan all the time. Bye, bitch. Off you go. It's not worth hanging on to people. So it's interesting, you know. Don't know what's going on with that water. 2 experts, 1 washing machine, 1 shower bloke, and a plumber, and they all say they can't find something wrong. So presumably we'll have to send some sort of expert in again at cost to me again. Oh, I don't know what's wrong with it. There we are. So he's moving out, I'm pleased to say, all right. I've got to show you this. I mean, there's petty, isn't there? People are so petty sometimes. But then again, you can understand it. You can understand how people can be petty with things like a large hedge. It can't be much fun to have an enormous hedge or an extension perhaps built next to you and a wall go up. That can't be much fun if that's the way the sun comes. Right? If it's on the other side, not too much hassle really, is it? As long as it's not blocking the sun coming in. But one person here, it says in the Daily Mail, a bitter boundary feud between 2 homeowners has ended with social media dubbing one side of the pettiest neighbours ever after they chopped a beloved fir tree completely in half. Now, I understand the boundary things, right? If there is a tree from your neighbour's garden and a branch is hanging over into your garden, right, you are perfectly legally entitled to cut that branch yourself, but you must return the branch to the neighbour. It's in your property. Now, I wouldn't do that. What I would do first is talk to my neighbour. Hopefully we'd be on talking terms. Right? But, I mean, this wouldn't happen with where I live. My wonderful neighbour just wouldn't allow this to happen. He would have cut the branch off before I'd even noticed it. It's as simple as that. But some people, they don't. And they grow these trees, bloody great big trees. Lalandi are the worst ones. And branches coming over that. It's not fair. Come on. It's not fair. So, if that branch is coming over there, you are perfectly legal titled to cut that off, but you must return the branch to your neighbour. That's probably the worst part of it, returning the branch. You know, if it was me, I would say, hello, whoever you are, John, next door. You know, I'm really sorry to have to ask. There's a branch hanging over my thing. It's really pissing me off. You know, can you do something about it? And they probably would. But if they're like, no, it's my tree, I'm not doing anything about it, you know, and you've gone through, you've been as nice as you can, you are perfectly entitled, don't need to go to a solicitor or anything like that, you are perfectly entitled to chop that branch off and hand it back to him. That's just how it is. And that's what happened here. I've got a picture to show you in a moment. A bitter boundary feud between two homeowners has ended with social media dubbing one side of the pettiest neighbours ever after they chopped a beloved fir tree completely in half. Here it is. Absolutely. Yeah, why not? If that's interfering with your life, absolutely. This bloke said him and his family were gutted when his elderly neighbours called in tree surgeons to cut half the branches of the 16-foot fir tree that has stood for 25 years. The drastic action came after a year-long dispute between Mr. Mystery and neighbours Graham and Irene Lee, both in their late 70s, in the leafy Sheffield suburb of Waterthorpe, it's called. He claimed Mr. and Mrs. Lee had complained birds in the tree were making too much noise and making a mess of the drive of their bungalow in a quiet cul-de-sac where houses sell, and house prices irrelevant. The bizarre row was first spotted on Reddit. Pictures of the tree went viral. So let's have another look at that tree. Look. I mean, I'm sorry. I go along with it. I go along with that. If that tree was blocking the light, right, from your house, and it's not your tree, wouldn't you do something about it? Because I blooming well would. It goes, the owner of the tree, it's been there for 25 years, and we trimmed it into a ball shape with agreement with the neighbour, and he's been fine about it. But he says recently, birds in the tree, which you would expect at this time of the year, he started off by pulling black bin liners in the tree to stop the birds sitting there. He don't like birds. It's a bit similar to me, really. He said, you'd have to ask, why would, after 25 years, would you do that? It must have been no more than 3 foot onto his land. Well, you've said it there yourself, dear. 3 foot onto his land, and he doesn't want it there. Why shouldn't he cut it off? It's above head height. The bottom of the branches start at about 8 foot high, and we've cut the branches off lower down to be amicable with them. He can now get his car on the drive with no issues. Oh, that's what it is. The birds are on the tree and they're pooing on his car. That'd be it. That'd be it. No, I'm on the side of the bloke who cut the tree down there. Outrageous, isn't it? Absolutely outrageous. Want to send a text in, join in the show, feel free. 07451 287 337 is my text in number on the show tonight, and indeed each and every night. Or you can send us an email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Bow and arrow time, right? And then we'll talk about Jeremy Clarkson this evening. Bow and arrow time. The delightful George has sent in his latest archery video. I think it's about 4 minutes long, this one. So have a look at this. George and his archery. Good evening, George.
That's 2, but that take 1 away, that'd be 1. Right. Welcome to United Kingdom Talk with Chris Reardon. Today I'm shooting a flat bow. It's about £35 draw at 28, and his name's called Henry Dobnik. It's a German name. Henry Dobnik, it's a German name, and I'm shooting about 10 yards, 10, 20, something like that. I've got a fast flight string with couple string to knock it and stuff like that. Feather fletchings, metal piles, wooden arrows. It says George Bond RRA. If you don't know what RRA is, Red Rose Archery. It says, so take 1. Thanks for listening. Bye for now. These are the hours where they have gone. I've got quite good ones. I've got an 8, a 7, a 9, 3 9s. I've got an 8, a 7, and a 3 9s. See you guys later. I'll probably be in the chat box. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Depends what it's like. Take care. Bye for now.
Oh, that's very loud, George. When you put that music on, it's very loud at the end here. And to cut that music, it was very, very loud here. The quieter music, quiet and peaceful, just like me. Now, is my microphone on? Because I've done that before. Haven't I? Not put the microphone back on. Thank you very much, George, for your archery video there. You can always send something in if you want to for the next show, boys and girls. 07 Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is my email address. In fact, John Parrish sent me in a little thing about CVs. And John writes, great show as usual last night. You mentioned CVs. I've attached mine. I'm quite proud of what I've done and places I've been over the years. He says, have a browse while you've got a minute to spare. How I miss those days getting up at silly o'clock in the morning and coming home when everyone was sleeping. You did long days, didn't you, John? I mean, I remember doing long days. You know, I worked for British Telecom as an engineer first. Or was I always an engineer? Doing that, I think I was an engineer, British Telecom engineer. Then I'd go out DJing. Long days. He said, don't wish your life away. Time passes so fast. Not too much fun being retired for as long. You long for it all your working life, then it hits you like a bus. Oh, I so agree with you. I mean, the pandemic, when it first started, that was like retiring. I hated it. I was all right for about 4 weeks. And I'm bored to tears, especially at night time. That's why you've got these nighttime shows. I'm just bored I cannot sit there and watch endless hours of television. I don't mind an hour here and an hour there, but not the whole night. And people do that. That's what they do. Plenty of people do that. People who don't work. Hours and hours they spend watching the telly. Or nowadays playing computer games. Something like that, you know. He says, other than that, life's good. Finding Sherry almost 20 years ago made me the happiest guy alive after 2 failed marriages. Keep up all the abuse, you bastard, he says. Off to shave and iron my face. And Christ, it is a bit of a long CV. Don't they tell you? I mean, is that what you give in to if you was looking for a job? Don't they tell you to keep CVs as short as possible? I think it's a load of old baloney CVs, to be honest. You know, I think doesn't matter what someone's done in the past, I think you've got to meet them and decide for yourself, or maybe that comes later on. You see, the only jobs I've applied for have been ones where I've walked in and said, have you got a job? Or filled in an application form. I've never had to do a CV. It's all crap. All crap. Anyway, he's got loads of certificates and things. City and Guilds, ONC Electrical Engineering, BSc Electrical, IEE Regulations, 16th edition, loads of stuff. Asbestos awareness, safety training, risk assessment, working at height, Legionnaires aware training, loads of stuff he's done. And he was key IT skills, most Microsoft applications. Look at this. Life entrapment training. Well, I don't know, what the hell is that? Is that where you trap people? Is that what you did to Sherry? You trapped her. How did you do that? 1983 to 1985. Senior electrical inspector, Saudi Arabia. Right? Senior QC engineer in Tokyo, Japan. Look at this. This is John Barrett, one of our viewers. Very intelligent man. Building services manager, Cody Blizzard, South Yemen. Wow. Senior QC engineer, Bahrain. Electrical package manager, Dubai. Electrical project engineer, Abu Dhabi. I hate to say it. It pains me to say this, John. I am so impressed with all this. I mean, it goes into what all these jobs entail, but we'd be here all night, you know. Electrical clerk of works, Malaysia. Wow. Where's Norland? He worked in Norland and Anglia Ruskin University over here. So much stuff here. He said professional profile. There's a picture of him there. Blimey, that's an old picture. He actually looks young in it. God, that's like those people that put the pictures on the dating sites, you know, that are like 20 years older than they actually are. It says experienced in mechanical and electrical equipment, responsible for a number of data centers, looking after trend BS. It's quite technical, all this stuff here. So I won't read it to you, but very impressive, John. Thanks so much for sending those in. And he also sent in a picture, if I can just find this now. Where's that picture now? Where are we? 1 minute. 1 minute. He sent in a picture here of, there we are, happier times in the Philippines. And he's got videos there. This content isn't available right now. Oh, well, that don't work then. Okay, whatever you tried to send me that day doesn't work anymore for some reason, isn't it? Now, do you mind? Can I just go and turn off my air conditioner? It's getting a bit cold in here now. 1 minute. Oh, it is cold. When I came in this room at about 7:30, it was really hot, and so I often put in the air conditioning in the other room there and see how that goes. Do you know what? We haven't opened the phone lines tonight, have we? Does that matter? Shall I open them or not? I tell you what, I'll do the Jeremy Clarkson thing first. Let me just close some of these tabs down here. We're not going to do all these things, are we? We're not going to do everything on that menu today, I'm afraid. No, we're not going to do anything on the menu. Anyway, Jeremy Clarkson. You've heard me now raving, certainly in a couple of the chat shows, and also almost every morning on the radio show that I do. I'm on the radio every morning, gang. Smart speaker, phone, PC, that's where I am, okay? 9 till 10 o'clock, reachonair.com. I'll be there tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. We've got some wonderful music that we play for you. I don't think she's with us tonight, but Vera always sends in a request, and her choice of music, she chooses all these tunes that we've never heard of, right? And they're fantastic. There was a particular one this morning by Fat Larry's band. Do you know, I'm looking at the camera while you can't even see me, can you? She just sends in this great soul music selection, and this morning I can't remember what it was called now, something by Fat Larry's band. So do give that a listen. Do join us tomorrow morning between 9 and 10 o'clock. reachonair.com. All right, Adam Croft, my friend Adam Croft's on there at the moment. Anyway, Jeremy Clarkson. It's so good. It's Clarkson's Farm. Okay, and as we discovered from John the other day, some of the episodes are on YouTube, but they are very much truncated. Each show is about an hour long on the Amazon Prime. If you've got Amazon Prime, it don't cost you any more. It comes as the package. So basically, it's a free program, all right? And it is so terribly, terribly funny. It is Jeremy Clarkson as he really is, not polished for some bleeding BBC thing or something like that, where he's restricted in what he can say. Oh, you can't say that. You might. No, this is him in the raw. Believe me. And it is hilarious. One of the things he came out with on the show today, it had me in stitches. Do you know, I think with a lot of this woke crap and the PC crap, when you hear something, because you know of those people who get so upset and so angry with the slight use of a word because they don't agree with it or they have deemed to be offended. Remember, I don't think many people go out specifically to offend someone. Certainly I do not. I do not go out to offend someone. You have decided to be offended by something I or someone else have said. It hasn't offended me, therefore I am happier than you are. You miserable git. I didn't think for one moment that Jeremy Clarkson would want to upset someone. I do not believe it. None of those artists, comedians in the 70s, 80s, none of them wanted to offend someone. You want to be offended by something. That's you, not them saying it. And he is very much as he really is, I think, on this programme, Clarkson's Farm. One particular thing, he came out, and I knew he wouldn't get away with this on the BBC. I was howling. He was trying to drive this tractor. It's a real eye-opener watching this Clarkson Farm. It teaches you, actually, about how a farm actually works. It's all very well you watching these nature... There's a country thing on BBC One Colour on Sunday nights, isn't there, with John Craven's Newsround. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Remember that? Well, he does this country farm thing, which is great. I like it. It's fairly easy going and you get to see things happening. I don't think I've really learnt much from it. In half an hour of watching Jeremy Clarkson's farm, I think, wow, I didn't know they did that. Wow, I didn't know how that works. I was amazed at this seed machine, right? So you have to go in and chop all the earth up with one machine. And then this other machine goes in there and they plonk all the seeds in this big thing. And then it just goes along and the seeds are pumped down this tube. And then they come out of this little thing that's like that. And it plants one seed that side and one seed the other side. Amazing. And I think I mentioned on Friday that on Tuesday's show that I had seen an episode already, and it mentioned that he hasn't got a clue. This is what's so funny about it. He's not done farming before. He's had a farm, but people done the farming for him, you see. They done the farming for him. Now he's doing it himself. He ain't got a bleeding clue. And that's why it's so funny. Watching him learning. And he's not stupid. He's an intelligent man, and as time is going on, he's clearly learning what to do. And I have no doubt in my mind, within a year or two, he will know exactly how to deal with stuff. So good. So good. And another machine they had was a pipe laying machine, right? Pipe laying machine, and this thing comes along, and first of all it makes you put on the side of this a reel of pipe, right, and then you feed it into the machine, and as the machine goes along it digs the hole, I don't know how far down, digs the hole, lays the pipe in the hole as it's going along, and then pats down the bit behind it. So clever. I never knew such a thing existed. And he's had to spend a fortune on equipment. And he's had to get... And I've now seen the second episode, you see. I think I've already spoken about the first one. I've now seen the second episode, and he gets a flock of sheep. And these sheep... This bloke says, well, you'll have to get a fence. And Jeremy says, well, I've got walls around. He said, no, they jump over walls. And he's like, do they? Well, how high can they jump? And he's the bloke who says, how high is your wall? And he said, well, about that big. No, they get over that. So then he gets this electric fence. Well, you don't have someone come and do it. He puts it up himself. And he's putting his posts in the ground and attaching the wire. And of course, you know what happens. Eventually he gets an electric shock and swears his head off. F that. And his sheep. He wants to get... He hasn't got a sheepdog. And of course you have to move them from place to place, don't you? So what does he get? He gets this drone... Right? It's this drone, and attached, he's got that little speaker on it. It plays a barking dog, I kid you not. And he's flying this drone, and it is actually controlling the sheep. As it gets close, it comes down like this, and this thing's barking, and then the sheep go the other way. And it worked for a while, but then the sheep realised it wasn't a dog. This thing is like that, rough. They're just looking at it. And then what happens? They start jumping over a wall. Oh my God. And the damage to this wall. And then he gets another bloke in. Now this bloke, it seems that his job is to fix broken walls. So what are these walls like? Are these like brick walls? No, they're not. They're literally stacks of stones. You know, you may look at that and think, oh, that must be easy to do. I bet it ain't. I bet he's like very skilled in rebuilding these walls. And his name, I think, is Gerald. Right? Jeremy's trying to talk. I ain't got a bleeding clue what this bloke is saying. It's like another language. You just can't understand him. And Jeremy's going like that, yeah. And you can look at Jeremy's face and you know he doesn't understand a word this bloke's saying. And don't get me wrong, the bloke's probably nice enough, but it's like one of those accents from somewhere else, like Somerset or something like that, isn't it? Like a proper accent in the old times. This bloke's chatting away, and I'm trying to listen to him. I am howling at the I was worried I was going to wake up neighbours in the caravans. I was laughing so much last night. I'm going to watch another episode tonight. I can't wait. Can't wait to watch it. He's got a boy that helps him, whose name is Kaleem, right? And I don't think the boy he's always lived in the area, right? He never goes out the area. He's 21 years old, and he's only ever been to London once. And and Jeremy says, well, how did you get there? Well, on a coach, but I didn't get off. And Jeremy's like, well, why is that? And he said, too many people. And I get that, you see. I don't like a load of people around me all the time. I really don't. I don't. I certainly wouldn't go on the beach in Skegness on a Saturday afternoon. Sod that, mate. I don't like it. All those people jostling for position all the time. Of course, there are times when you have to do it. Like, for example, going to Disney. You're always surrounded by loads of people there. It's just how it is. You know, but you accept that when you go. When I go to work, there's a lot of people there. But after, I can't wait to get in the car and go back to my house on my own. You know? But the relationship between him and this boy is just marvellous. He is a boy that he's brought in that has clearly worked the farm before, and he knew all these fields have got different names. He knew them all without having to look at the picture. He's very, very clever, this boy, because he's obviously always done this. He probably got taught by his father. You know, from a little boy going out and helping, I don't know, plant seeds or doing lambs and things like that and all that business. And if you're brought up like that, very intelligent. Very intelligent. I'm sure my nephew will be teaching his little boy how to do videos and fix things. And then he'll get to 20, probably 15 years old and be able to do much more than I can possibly do. Because I never really learnt that. My father as well, he did a little bit of DIY. Wasn't that good at it. No disrespect to my father. I would never disrespect my father. No disrespect to him. Wasn't very good at it. Maybe that's why I didn't really do stuff like that. I've certainly got worse over the years. I used to be able to do a little bit of painting. I have put wallpaper up before. When I was married, I put wallpaper up in the living room. And my father-in-law at the time came round, and I said, "What do you think?" And he's looked at it. He said, "It's upside down, mate." I think it was from that point that it just went downhill when I was 21. It's got worse and worse and worse. My DIY's got worse and worse and worse, even to the point, as you saw the other day, of the bicycle tyre exploding. And I still don't know why it exploded, really, because it didn't do it when I was pumping it up. It took a while. It kind of waited. It waited to catch me out, you see. I think that's what went wrong there. I don't know. But yeah, there's a great relationship between Jeremy and this bloke, Kalim. And I don't think Kalim realises what a big star Jeremy Clarkson is, because he is. He's a star. He's a star. He's not fake. He's not fake like these people like Gemma Collins and all that on the telly. He is as he is. He is completely natural. And he swears as much as the rest of us do. Wonderful. But Kaleem, the boy he's got helping him now, speaks to him. It's like a father-son relationship. It really is. But he just talks to him like Jeremy does something. He's like, well, why did you do that? Why did you do that? And like that. Not perhaps like you or I would be wanting to speak to Mr. Clarkson. But it's really good. His wife's lovely as well. I didn't know he was married to an Irish lady. She comes across as a really nice person as well. They were a little bit worried with these sheep, because when they jumped over the wall, and she's like, quickly, they're going to run into town if you're not careful. Once, because of course, sheep, you know what sheep are like? Once one starts doing something, they all start following suit, don't they? Oh, God. And then 3 of them were ill. And he's got the book out to find out what was wrong with them. And he started turning these pages, one of which was exploding vaginas. And he started going on about exploding vaginas, anal prolapses, all coming up in this book about sheep. He said, I don't want to have to deal with one of those. And he got a vet out, and this vet looked at the 3 sheep. I think they put antiseptic on one of them or something like that. And he said, actually, there were 3 sheep that couldn't have lambs. So he said, I'm afraid there's only one thing to do with these. It's horrible, isn't it? It's horrible, isn't it? And that was it. And then it shows you taking these sheep to the abattoir later on in the programme. And you can tell he's upset. You could tell he really didn't want to take these sheep down there, but there's apparently nothing else you can do with them. And he's gone in the office, and you have all this government paperwork, then permission to move the things and all this business he had to fill in. And he said to the bloke, all right, okay then. Well, just before I go, I hope you don't mind, I want to go and say goodbye. He said, oh, they're probably gone by now. And Jeremy says, what do you mean? And the bloke says, dead. What, already? And he goes outside, and where those 3 sheep were, there were no sheep anymore. They'd already gone. And he stopped talking. And it showed him driving home, and you could see that had hurt him. And you would do, any sort of animal, I think, when you get to know them, and they're not pets, sheep are not pets, but it doesn't matter, you get to know them. Certainly, as you were watching the business with looking after the sheep and all that, they were getting used to him. They were coming to him now when he was shaking this bucket of whatever it was, some sort of food. And he put in these water. There was already a network of water pipes. And when he turned it on, there was no water coming out. So he got a bloke in who poured water. He located a tank which was quite high up. And he got a bloke to come and bring a load of water in to pour water into this tank. And then went back down to the various troughs around his farm, turned the taps on, and through came the water. So he knew the pipes were working all right. But what he didn't have was water getting to the tank. That's why he had to put in that water pipe that I mentioned earlier on in the programme. There we are. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on Jeremy Clarkson. And one of the things he said, which I say you could never get away with saying it on the BBC, was when he was trying to work one of these tractors. Oh my God, the buttons and the gadgets on this tractor. All right? And he'd got in, I think it was the seed planting tractor, and he said it must be easier to drop a cruise missile on Damascus than it is to work out a seed drilling tractor. That's the one that got me. I was howling, really loud laughing. I hope none of my neighbours heard me, because I think they're... Stay right there. You with me? We're back there, are we? Sorry, we had a little internet drop out there. It looks like you're back with us. Let me just check. You should be back with us there. There may have been a little pause there where you couldn't see anything. John says, not a problem. My CV was for your eyes only. Oh, I'm so sorry, darling. You didn't say that, did you? Was it for your eyes only? Sorry, John. Perhaps I shouldn't have read some of that out. It needs to be complex, as most posts don't require interviews, which I hate. They read it, then they send the airfares, etc. It's all right, isn't it? Flying around the world, being paid by someone else. Thank you there. Good evening to James McAllister. Hello, James, who sent this a few moments ago. Just in bed and put on YouTube, your face splashed up. Lovely way to end a busy day. There's nothing. There's nothing. If you've got problems sleeping, just put me on. This show is guaranteed to send people to sleep at all times, darlings, all right? He said he's just finished watching The Farmer's World. Really great show. Hope they do another year. Well, I've only seen 2 so far. And I'm very much looking to seeing another episode when I finish our little show tonight. Sorry, gang, I think we got cut off then for a moment or two. But the YouTube system we have now holds the channel open even if I get cut off. So if that ever happens, just give it, give it no more than 5 minutes. Because if I can't get it sorted by 5 minutes, then I'm gone, mate. We don't worry too much about technical things like that, okay? 07451 337 is your text number. I will open the phone line just for a moment or two. Just a second. Let me get that up for you. Okay, so if anyone wants to call, do it quickly, all right, my darlings, because it's already gone 10 o'clock and I'm way over time today. I've had the last two shows I've done, I've really had a good time sitting here chatting away to you there. There's some new chocolate coming out, I'm pleased to say. Who likes chocolate? You like chocolate? The Sun is reporting Cadbury's have launched three new dairy milk flavours, including, and I've got to say, I don't think any of these are appealing to me at all. Brownie flavour. I've never been a fan of those chocolate brownie things. Brownie flavour, banoffee crumble and fizzing cherry. But only one will stick around permanently. Now, didn't they do this recently? I think they did honeycomb, which I've never been able to find. Blueberry. And yes, because my nephew bought me some, but he couldn't get the honeycomb one. This has got to be last year sometime. It was blue. He got the blueberry one, and he got the other one, whatever that was, but not the honeycomb one. And I've never found the honeycomb one. 110 grams, £1.49, available in major shops and supermarkets from today, apparently. So that's banoffee nut crumble, fizzing cherry, and no frowny brownie. Fans will have to vote to keep their favourite bar on the shelves. The new flavours have been created by three chocolate-mad British people as part of Cadbury's annual inventor competition, now in its third year. Salted caramel. It could have been salted caramel, the other one. That was out last year. Self-confessed chocoholic Birmingham dad, Josh, who's 31, invented the banoffee nut crunch bar. I might try that one, which has banoffee pie, flavoured fudge pieces, almond caramel chips and biscuits. And other people invented those. So I don't know if you'll be trying anything out. Here we go. Last year saw three new flavours: crunchy honeycomb, out of the blueberry, coconutty. That was it, coconut. Battling out to remain on the shelves across the country. Now, I liked I would have liked all three of those. I never got the chance to try the honeycomb one, and I haven't seen it. On the other hand, I haven't seen the blueberry or the coconut one either in the shops. The blueberry and the coconut one, I had both of those, both nice. Preference for the blueberry one there. So there we are. Very nice indeed. Okay, no one calling in tonight? Right, we'll close that line fairly quickly. I haven't got time for calls tonight. I'm chatting too much anyway, aren't I? Going back to the Jeremy Clarkson thing, it hasn't been without its problems. Let me just do that text there for you, darlings. Fran says, fizzing cherry chocolate might be yum, not bothered about the others. So Fran's not going to be really into those. Would you try any of those chocolates there? Any of those? What would you like? Or maybe you like a completely different chocolate flavour altogether. Perhaps you can think of something else you might like, eh? Nice bit of chocolate there. Yeah, he's not been without his problems there. Apparently, his new show, Clarkson's Farm, which we talked about a moment ago, it's proving popular. Unfortunately, as these things do, it's attracting a lot of visitors to the farm. People just basically driving past, having a look. Hundreds of Clarkson fans descending on his farm at the weekend, perhaps hoping to meet the man himself. He's 61, Jeremy Clarkson, is settled for a farming lifestyle as part of his new hit Amazon Prime show, Clarkson Farm. And it goes on, cars queued up on nearby roads approaching the farm, and police were called. There were so many cars trying to get a view, probably trying to look for him driving a tractor or something like that. It's creating problems for villagers. According to the Mail Online, one resident wrote, avoid going anywhere near Diddley Farm squat farm shop. Whole road is blocked again, but worse, there are people stopping on the 60-mile-an-hour bend with nowhere to go. Oh dear. Others warned the congestion at the scene was an accident waiting to happen. Crowds and queues built up at the farm shop. He's got a farm shop the day after the release of the Amazon Prime Video program. I mean, it is really good, but that's not all. They're obviously going to buy stuff that he's making, except he's got a bit of a problem with the milk. The Daily Star is reporting that he's attacked officials over petty rules and regulations. Now, he's expressed his frustrations. This is Jeremy Clarkson. Local officials telling him that he can't use milk from a few miles down the road at his new farm shop. The car-obsessed star said he's been banned from using the milk from Gloucestershire to make the ice cream sold at his farm shop at Chipping Norton, Oxfordshire. The presenter has swapped cars and tells about he used to do the car thing. He said, "My shop had only been open a few days when we received a stern letter warning us that our rather lovely ice cream has been made from the juice of cows that live 8 miles away in Gloucestershire, and this has contravened a clause that said we could only sell produce from West Oxfordshire." So, I mean, is it petty? I mean, rules are there to be sorted, are they? I don't know. Since then, we've been told the roof is the wrong colour. The sign is 0.3 of a metre too wide, that we're not allowed to sell teas and coffees, that the gingham covering on the straw bales contravenes COVID regulations, the car park is a road safety hazard, and the sausage rolls are wrong in some unfathomable way, and that if we were allowed to sell beer, yobbos would come and urinate in the graveyard. That's the letter he's got from the council. Oh, dear me. So, I mean, it's not all plain sailing with him, but I love it. I absolutely love the programme. All right. James McAllister, thanks for joining in, James. He says, "It's so dangerous for me. As soon as I open the honeycomb chocolate, it's gone. It's so nice." Where did you find that, James? I can't find it. Admittedly, I haven't looked for it recently. Maybe I'm not looking. If I buy chocolate, it tends to be Galaxy, the normal, not like caramel or anything like that. Oh, there's a Cadbury's. I tell you what, I saw the other day, Cadbury's Caramac with like fluid, like a centre, Caramac centre. Oh, that sounds nice, doesn't it? Cadbury's Caramac centre ice cream does sound absolutely delicious. All right, gang. Well, it's 10:10. I think we should disappear now. It's got quite late again, hasn't it? Yeah, I shall disappear right now, gang. Thanks so much for joining us on the show tonight. Our next chat show will be Sunday night at 8 o'clock on this channel, okay? Sunday night at 8 o'clock on this channel. Alan Ross isn't on the radio tonight, but I'm on there tomorrow morning. Do join us on your smart speaker, mobile phone or computer at reachonair.com, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, of course, it's Friday night. It's Friday night. So if you're in the North London area, I'll be hosting karaoke, and that will be starting at 7:30 tomorrow night. So long drive in for me tomorrow. I shall be going to bed probably about 12:30 tomorrow afternoon to get up again. Although last night was a bit tight on time last time, I might even leave a bit earlier, sort of 2:30 in the afternoon. Anyway, thanks so much. Could you just like the show, please, on your way out? It's been wonderful to chat to you on this Thursday night. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday night, and I'm now going to go and have some beans on something, probably a burger. Beans on burger, and watch episode 3 of Jeremy Clarkson's Farm. Good night now.